In the yesteryears of centuries ago, in a small portion of this vast world of ours, there lived a people called the children of Israel. From them came certain men and women through whom God revealed himself to all mankind. One of these was Moses, leader of God's people. For 400 years, the Israelites had lived as slaves in the land of Egypt. But under the leadership of Moses, God had brought them safely out of this country, through the Red Sea, and into the wilderness of sin. Once in the wilderness, there were many troubles: the desert heat, the weariness, the complaints. For there was no food in the desert, and the people were hungry. But Moses knew that God would supply their needs even in the wilderness. And God did. Every day he sent manna for the Israelites to eat. It covered the ground every morning like white frost. One evening he also sent quails, so the people had both meat and bread to eat on their journey. But before long the people had a new complaint, and they turned against Moses in anger.
Why did you bring us out of Egypt? To kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst?
Give us water. We need water.
Do you want us all to die of thirst?
What shall I do with these people? They are about to stone me.
Then the Lord commanded Moses to take his rod and strike it against a rock. At once, water gushed out of the rock, and the people drank and were satisfied. And so they journeyed on in the wilderness until they came to the place where Moses had lived as a shepherd, and where he had heard the Lord speaking to him from the burning bush. There, Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, came out to meet him, and Moses welcomed Jethro with joy. The next day, Jethro watched while Moses sat to judge the people from morning till evening, settling every kind of quarrel and complaint. And Jethro told Moses that he was making a mistake.
This is too much for you, and also the people. Why don't you choose able men and make them judges over the people? Let them help you.
And so Moses decided to do as his father-in-law had suggested, setting judges over the people. But judges were not enough. The Israelites needed laws to guide and govern them, and above all, pure and dedicated hearts. So when the Israelites reached Mount Sinai and camped at the foot of the mount, Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God. And Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke because the Lord descended upon it. And God spoke all these words, saying,
I am the Lord thy God who brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet.
Then Moses wrote down all that the Lord had said and read the words of the covenant to the people. And he took half of the blood of the sacrifices and poured it against the altar and the other half he sprinkled on the people and said, "This is the blood of the covenant, which the Lord had made on the basis of all he has said." After that, God called Moses up unto Mount Sinai to give him the laws according to which God's people were to live. 40 days and 40 nights Moses stayed on the mount. But while Moses was still on the mountain, the Israelites broke the very first commandment of the Lord. For when Moses delayed his coming down from the mountain, the people had asked Aaron to give them other gods to worship. And Aaron had made them a calf of gold, which the people worshipped with sacrifices and dancing. When Moses came down from the mountain with the stone tablets on which God had written his commandments, Joshua met him. And as they came near the camp, they heard the noise of the merrymaking. And when Moses saw his people worshiping the golden calf, he threw the stone tablets down on the ground in anger and broke them.
What have these people done to you that you should bring such a great sin upon them?
Don't be angry, Moses. You know yourself how bad these people are. They said to me, "Make us a God who will lead us." As for Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. So I said to them, "Let anyone who has gold jewelry take it off." And they gave it to me. I threw it into the fire, and out of it came this calf.
Who is on the Lord's side? Let him come over to me.
Then the whole tribe of Levi came over to Moses, and Moses told them to slay all the Israelites who had worshipped the golden calf. And so 3,000 people died as a punishment for their idolatry. The next day, Moses said to the people, "I will go up again to the Lord. Perhaps he will forgive your sin." So Moses returned to the top of the mountain.
Oh, these people have done a great wrong. They have made for themselves a god of gold. But now, will you forgive them their sin? If not, take my name out of your book of life.
But the Lord said to Moses, "Whoever has sinned against me, his name will I take out of my book." And afterwards the Lord told Moses to cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones. And he wrote on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which Moses had broken. And when Aaron and all the people saw Moses, the skin of his face was shining brightly, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called to them, and when they came near, he repeated the commandments of the Lord.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
So Moses told the people all that the Lord had commanded him on the mount, including instructions to build a tabernacle as a place of worship for his people. The people obeyed the Lord's command and gladly brought their gifts: gold, jewelry, fine linen and skins, and silver and bronze for building a tabernacle to the Lord. Then skillful workers began building the tabernacle and the ark that would contain the stone tablets on which the commandments of the Lord God were written. There were carvers of wood and those who worked with metals of gold, silver, and bronze. And there were weavers, embroiderers, and those who sewed the cloth, linens of blue, purple, and scarlet. And the work went forward until the ark and the tabernacle were completed. Then Moses and the children of Israel continued on their journey, carrying with them the ark of the covenant, and confident that the Lord God was with them. Later, as they came near the promised land of Canaan, Moses sent 12 scouts to explore the land. But when the spies came back to Moses, they brought back frightening reports.
We can't conquer this land. All the people are giants. We are just grasshoppers compared to them.
If only we had died in Egypt or could die in this wilderness.
Why has the Lord brought us into this land? Just to have our enemies kill us and take away our wives and children?
Let us appoint a leader and go back to Egypt.
Don't believe these evil reports. Caleb and I saw the land, and it was a good land. A land that flowed with milk and honey. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us, for God is with us.
No, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
And because the Israelites did not believe in God's promise, the Lord spoke to Moses, saying,
Because all those men have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have not trusted me now these 10 times, they shall not see the land which I promised to their fathers.
And so the children of Israel were made to wander in the wilderness 40 years. On and on they wandered, and the way was long, and again they complained. So one day God sent poisonous snakes to punish the Israelites. And many of them died. Then the people repented and went to Moses.
We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you.
Pray to the Lord to take these snakes away from us, we beg you.
Again Moses prayed for the people, asking God to forgive them. Then the Lord spoke to Moses.
Make a snake of copper and set it on a pole. When anyone who is bitten looks on it, he will live.
Moses did what the Lord told him, and those who had been bitten and looked upon the copper snake stayed alive. So once again the people of Israel saw how the Lord was able to save them. But the wandering in the wilderness continued until 40 years had passed, and those who had not trusted in the Lord had died. Only their children remained to enter the land of promise. And at last the Israelites came to the plains of Moab.
You have seen all that the Lord did for you during the 40 years in the wilderness. Therefore, keep the commandments and do them. And the Lord your God will raise up a prophet for you, who will be one of you, an Israelite like myself. Listen to him, and the Lord our God will bring you to the land that your fathers owned, and you will possess it, if you will keep his commandments, which are written in the book of the law.
Then Moses left the people, And he climbed the mountain of Nebo to the peak that overlooked the promised land. From here, he saw all the land of Canaan. And the Lord said to him, "This is the land which I promised to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I have let you see it, but you shall not go over there." So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died in the land of Moab, as God had said. And the people mourned over Moses' death for 30 days. For he was the greatest of the prophets of Israel, a man to whom God had spoken face to face, and through whom God had led his people to the promised land.